Hi, Kerry. You all right?
Hello, yes, I'm good.
Oh, yeah. Lovely seeing you as usual. Interesting. I've got an interesting conversation this week. I've been contacted by quite a few, more than five people, regarding where they were, in relation to definitely this term, the start of the term, with the well-being of young people, the frustrations of maybe sometimes families understanding the
Right.
urgency,
Yeah,
to the services, whether it's children's social care being MASH or your front door in that sense, or our colleagues in CAMS, yeah,
yeah,
or as you say,
yeah.
CAMH, right?
I say CAMH, yeah.
So, so, and again, you would know this being a safeguarding lead,
Yeah,
then it's your bag, as
yeah.
in frustration, not
Oh,
hearing me, worrying about this child
yeah,
after hours. So I think it's worth a discussion,
yeah,
because
definitely.
I think a lot of maybe watching this might relate to that, and I have got a solution for you in that.
Excellent.
So
Yeah,
yeah, and
it
anything on
can,
that from your
yeah, I mean, it can feel like ping pong. You feel like you're trying to work out what's the best referral to do for the child. It's very rare that you sit there thinking, oh, it's definitely a CAMH or it's definitely a social services. You sometimes they're so intertwined. So you would start a referral, and the two referral processes are very different, and you really wish that they would talk to each other. And so one I've done recently is I sent one to CAMH, it didn't accept it, got sent again to CAMH, and all the time, because I don't need consent to do the one for CAMH, but I do need it for social services. So they are different with how you do them. And all the time, all you seem to be doing, obviously virtually as well, is trying to get parents to help you find the right bits of information that you should be sending to the right people. But then you really wish that the two would talk to each other, because once you get no from one, then you're having to do one to the other. And all the time you're sitting there thinking, we're actually not dealing with a child. We're not actually solving the issue. All I'm doing is filling out forms. And it can feel a bit like ping pong, and you feel like you maybe have to exaggerate to get the support for the child. Yeah,
and I think, as you're saying that, I remember when I was last, so I did quite a lot of locum work when I left the permanent role in 2010 to 2015. But when I was last in, I remember a case I had, in fact, 2014, and that was 2014, and the thresholds then had gone high, And I remember I had a case where it was a person who, on a daily basis, I'm not exaggerating here, on the way home from the school, would go to the graveyard and take an overdose to this young person. Okay, it was a family EAL where there was, in this particular case, a lack of understanding around the well-being, and lack of understanding about how the child was feeling in the sense of what they were doing. And family where there was younger siblings, etc. So one could argue the attention was elsewhere. And I'll never forget this. And it was in my team in children's social care. And it was one where one could argue on a daily basis, someone's put themselves potentially at risk and
yeah,
suicide,
yeah,
in the sense of the overdoses every day, cry for help, would it escalate to real,
yeah,
the real
yeah,
fatality? And even back then, I found it so frustrating. I was ringing CAMH, as you say. I'd be ringing all my colleagues in the agencies to say, clearly, this isn't a social care matter, meaning we're working with risk here, but it's
yeah,
an urgent, immediate danger in the sense of potential, sectioning or hospital, cure in that way, get a bed for them, etc. And that was in 2014. So we've got to think about that. And now in 2021, I suppose it's the reality of, has that, if that was such a long time ago, when you do the maths
yeah,
of 7 years, it's definitely got there,
yeah,
and
yeah,
higher in the last year. So
yeah,
even for March last year. So with these calls, I can really empathize and understand the frustration of, this clearly is too risky to manage.
yeah,
So what I've been saying is, with understanding the way the systems work in CAMH, A&E, social care, every hospital has a children's social care department. So I had a colleague who was actually based at the hospital as a hospital-based social worker. They've got children and families and also adults, right? So any child who goes there and they have got concerns, it will go internally, and they will then refer it externally to the local authority where the child resides. Okay, so we need to get regular emails or referrals from A&E social care teams. And in that, I remember So in this urgency matter at the moment, if you are a colleague in that kind of experience of frustrations not being, heard, or referrals being escalated or, initiated, please, quick response would be inform the family to take the child to A&E immediately. Yeah. And I know of COVID, but the reality is we've got to think about, immediate danger, because what I'm finding is children are really kind of crying out for help in different ways. And not and because we haven't got the language of knowing what to say and how to say it, it's a very discreet thing. So, tell them to go to A&E immediately. Or if you really believe that family isn't going to, then you can ring 101 and seek advice, or you can ring 999.
I think
it sounds drastic, but do you know what? The child will go to A&E, the child will be seen, it triggers a referral to children's social care, it will trigger a referral also to CAMH under the grounds of the locality team.
I think, I've taken a child to hospital, and I've sat there and I haven't necessarily got the response that I was hoping for. And if I'm really honest with you, there was one point where I was quite stubborn, and I think that that's something we have to do. I'm going to go on a little bit too long. I'll cut myself short. I sat there saying, I'm not leaving here until I'm happy that you're giving this child the support they need. And that took 3 different people to visit him in that hospital room. They were happy to discharge him on the first person. And I'm like, well, I'm not happy for him to come back into school. So we need to do something. Second person came in. So no, he's fine. I'm like, no, I need another person. And I need you to listen. And then the third person came in, and then they almost got fed up with me. You could see them rolling their eyes at me. But I knew that he needed more than just being going home. I couldn't go to bed. I couldn't go to bed thinking that I'd let that child down. But that was me after years of experience. And I'm slightly nervous that if you're not there, you just send them to the A&E and you just hope it goes okay. When you're in A&E, they need to be stubborn as well.
And I appreciate, for the sake of this, and we're finishing it in about 3 seconds, but I know that you're boarding, and at boarding your role is slightly different as a house parent than it would be for a regular day student. So I'm just emphasizing that, because my social hat was, where is the parent? Why isn't the parent doing what you're doing? But we know with boarding it's different.
Well, no, actually with this one, the parent was with me. And I felt that because this was not the first time the child had been in hospital. So I felt that I needed to support the parents, for the parent to be heard.
I get
You're right, I wouldn't normally go. Yeah. All right, that's good chat.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Bye.